When we're focused on education, and there's been such a big focus on education, this is to equip our youth with the skills they need to grow the country as well and to benefit themselves.
Now we need to talk about the migration expectation and reality. Now many migrants come to New Zealand hoping for a more stable and affordable life. But a lot of families are now struggling with the rent, jobs and financial pressures. Now, do you think that New Zealand in some ways overload the dreams? If Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi himself is watching this video, what is the message for him? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Webfit News. And today we are going to have another round of conversation with one of the famous person who is, one of the faces who are, who's always available in the community, and very easy to reach out and very popular in terms of, whenever you will see any community events, you will see the person is sitting, right in the front row and will be very eager to, talk about, the food, the culture and the very warmness. And I'm not going to delay anymore. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Rima. Hi, Rima.
Sangeeta, thank you. Good morning. What a warm welcome.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much talking to Webfit News. So whenever you are referring to us, feel free to call us Webfit News. We'll be happy to talk about it. All right. Yeah. So now before we begin, New Zealand is heading towards 2026 general elections. And at a time when many families are under pressure from rising living cost, housing challenges, economics, uncertainty, crime concern and growing frustration with the politics. Today we are joined with Rima Nakhle, MP of Takanini, for a direct and important conversation about the future of New Zealand, Auckland, migrant communities, small businesses, and what voters can realistically, expect from political leadership moving forward. Thank you so much for joining. And the first thing which I wanted to get started with the cost of living. You have been seeing, and we have changed the shift when there was a government by Labour and now National is there. We see things are improving, but we want to hear from you. What are the measures or what the actions being taken by National and how do you see that?
Yeah, and look, first I want to say thank you to Webfit News and to you, Sangeeta, and your team for the very important work you do, making people like myself available to our communities and just asking questions and how important it is for our members of our different communities, whether they be ethnic or non-ethnic, that you hear from us and you also feel comfortable to ask us questions as well. The cost of living is something that is actually the most important thing on everyone's minds. And what I will say is that if I was to talk about what our objective is as our agenda as a government for New Zealand, I'm going to talk about it from a what we call a high level and then what we're doing on the ground. And a high level approach is, first, how do we grow our country? How do we grow, I'm going to have to use the word, the economy, to benefit everyone in New Zealand? And so that's what we're doing from a high level, what we call macro level, right? And then how is that branching out to on the ground in different departments, what we're doing to grow our economy? Now, I want to acknowledge how hard it's been for a lot of our families across New Zealand, here in South and East Auckland, because Takanini is South and East Auckland, but also across Auckland and across New Zealand. Times have been very tough. We inherited a mess, and make no mistake about it, we inherited an absolute mess, the worst recession in over 30 years. Things don't happen to turn around overnight. And so we've been chipping away at the edges, but also making these big decisions to turn our economy around so that life can get more affordable for our neighbours, for people around New Zealand, because affordability is how we ease those cost pressures. And so when we're focused, and now we're looking as well on different things we're doing, when we're focused on all the projects that we're starting around, the infrastructure projects, the road projects that will create jobs, when we're focused on giving businesses confidence to hire people, that will help as well. When we're focused on education, and there's been such a big focus on education, this is to equip our youth with the skills they need to grow the country as well and to benefit themselves. When we've also got a health minister that's focused on giving people access to primary care, because when people can take care of themselves, they can continue to get back out there and work for their families. There's so much that's being done, but the big focus for us when we came into government was bringing down inflation. Inflation, it's a technical term, but essentially it's the cost of goods and services. And we managed to bring it down from what it was. It reached a peak of 7.2% under the last Labor government. We brought it down to around the 3% mark, which is important, and interest rates have gone down as well. Now, with the situation going on in the Middle East, it's made things difficult, more difficult than what we were. We were going down a good path, but I'm confident that our ministers and our Prime Minister have it under control, in the sense that what we can control in New Zealand, we control. And we're making sure we've got those fuel supplies for us here in New Zealand. So, so far, again, the plan on a macro level, on a high level, growing our economy so that we can benefit all avenues and all areas of our communities. It will take time because we inherited a mess with the current issue in the Middle East. It has created some challenges, but we are controlling what we can keep in our control.
Definitely, very well said. But I wanted to understand, politicians often say that inflation is improving, like also we are talking, but many ordinary families still feel the financially stressed every single week.
100%. And I guess, Sangeeta, this is what gets me angry. When I'm sitting in Parliament and I look across and I see there's no accountability from the Labour Party. There's no one standing up and saying, you know what, we actually made quite a few mistakes, and which led us to that high inflation. I get it. COVID happened. There was uncertainty in the world, but we're a small country, and we could have controlled things a lot better.
Right.
And beyond COVID, the spending that happened absolutely drove up inflation. And the problem is, when prices go up, they very rarely go down. Unless you're talking about fruit and vegetables, that's seasonal. And so that's why the focus for us becomes, how do we make life more affordable?
Definitely.
And it breaks my heart when I'm at that Woolworths across the road, here in Takanini, or other areas, there's around New World in Flatbush, and I see families, I see mums, dads, they think twice before they're putting something in their trolley. Do you think that doesn't break my heart?
Right, definitely.
And I tell people, when I'm watching our finance minister, when we're having our meetings, she's not sitting around laughing her head off like the other team across the house that do a lot of laughing. She's there, the worry on her face, because she wants to make life easier for our families, for our seniors, for our youth. But we inherited a mess. And we're working really hard with a lot of initiatives we're doing, not to mention the trade deals we're doing as well, that will provide a lot of extra business for our businesses here. But yep, it's tough for a lot of our families, and we're working on trying to make life more affordable for our beautiful families that are going through these extremely tough times.
So with that, are you denying that the political class is becoming disconnected from the real financial struggle people are facing?
Am I denying?
Are you denying the statement? Because there are a lot of discussion saying that political class is becoming disconnected from the real financial struggles people are facing.
Yeah, no, from our side, something about my colleagues and I, ministers included, is we are constantly out talking to our families, whether it be by door knocking, by going to different community events, by making sure that we're available to hear from our neighbours across the country. One thing I say is, to me, the poles are on the doorsteps. And when I've been going door knocking from from years ago, but since becoming an MP, I've continued it wherever I can. I get out there and do a few hours of door knocking,
Right.
because that's what helps me stay in touch with my community. Because in Parliament, there's the parliamentary work. I was just letting you know, we had a week of Parliament. It's very normal for me during parliamentary weeks that I might just have 3.5 hours of sleep a night, because I need to get my readings done. I need to make sure I'm doing the stuff that I need to do for our electorate office here. There's so much going on, but one-on-one conversations with our neighbours in our electorates is absolutely what keeps our ear on the ground, and listening to community leaders, listening to members of our community, going to our events. I love that people talk to me about things when we're at events. You know, some people say, oh, look, I know you're busy. Sometimes if I'm at, shopping at Woolworths, people say, oh, sorry, but can I ask you about this? Absolutely, ask me. It's 24/7 for us MPs. Definitely. Well, at least for the National Party MPs. So I'm sad to hear that. But I know that for my colleagues and I, we're very mindful of being in touch with our communities. And in fact, I would like to say this. Very often our ministers in the National Party, they'll organise sessions during the dinner break. So when Parliament is sitting, the dinner break is 6 p.m. till 7:30. And they'll organise sessions in their offices, invite us for a couple of reasons. One, to let us know what the plans are in their portfolio. But more importantly, to hear from us what our neighbours in our communities are telling us.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that.
Very long answers. You can deal with that what you want.
No problem. Definitely. Now I wanted to, because before coming to this interview, we were doing, our team was doing a homework, and we wanted to understand, take some question from your home ground, I'll say Takanini. So we have one question from South Auckland and infrastructure. So South Auckland contribute, a lot to Auckland's economy and workforce. Yet many residents still feel the area receives less infrastructure, less investment, and less attention compared to other parts of the Auckland. What do you have to say about it?
That's very surprising, because I've been. Well, first, we've got quite a few projects taking place, and one of the massive big projects is what we call grade separation. Technical term, but basically we've got a number of railway lines that cross over on our roads, and our government has committed $200 million and alongside Auckland Council to essentially improve those conditions where we're building so that it's no longer the boom gates that go down. It's going to be safer, and it's going to be more efficient and help out with traffic as well. So we've got a number of them going on around here. Mill Road is one of our national roads of national significance, and we've committed, because we were almost ready to start that back in 2017.
Right.
The Labor Party back then promised that if they get into power, they'd continue Mill Road, making it a 4-lane road. It's a project there. They went back on that promise. And then in 2020, during the elections, we said again, we'll build Mill Road. They said, okay, all right, we'll follow that too. Went back on that, Michael Wood. So we've committed to it. We said we're going to get it done. There's work taking place in terms of some of the things that need to be ticked off before spades go in the ground. Also, it was just announced by the Auckland councillor and some local board members that these waste of space cycle lanes that are here that nobody uses. I mean, you can look out, Sangeeta, tell me if you can see any people riding these bikes. It's made Great South Road in this section 1 lane each way instead of what it used to be 2. They're going to be removed. There's a lot going on. I am so blessed and so grateful. When Mill Road opens, it's going to take so much pressure off the surrounding roads. And anyone that's messaged you that, please put them on to me.
So South Auckland, this answer is for you. Now I leave it to you to examine that and check that and come back to us.
There's a lot going on. So just email us, message us, email Webfit, and they'll forward it to me. But it's important to hear, because a lot of times these things don't come to they're not reported on the news. So not everyone knows that this is going on.
Definitely. So leave it to you. Thank you so much for that answer.
There's actually consultation going on now in our communities with respect to the grade separation. So feel free to contact me. This Saturday, there's going to be one based in Drury, which is in the Papakura electorate, but it affects what's going on here.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, moving on. Now we need to talk about the migration expectation and reality. Now, many migrants come to New Zealand hoping for a more stable and affordable life.
Yes.
But a lot of families are now struggling with the rent, jobs, and financial pressures.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that New Zealand in some ways overload the dreams?
We overload the dreams?
Overall, we means right now, since your party is in power, so either you want to take it up or, how do you want to take it up? So the question is, do you think that New Zealand in some ways oversold the dreams? The dreams are oversold.
Look, what I think is that New Zealand, we know, or I know as well, I wasn't born in New Zealand, but I'm so blessed and grateful that I live in New Zealand.
Definitely.
I was born in Australia, a country which I love so much. And New Zealand has become my home. And when I reflect on our country, it's such a dream country in terms of our natural beauty, our approach to how people should be treated. I remember someone that came out when they left to go back to the Middle East. They said, "Thank you. It's the first time I felt like I'm being treated like a human being." But can we grow? Can we improve in terms of what we offer for our people here? 100%. And that's why our Prime Minister is absolutely focused, and he knows how much potential we've got. And the sadness is that for 6 years, it was almost like New Zealand was being treated by the people that were in power then as, look, this is too hard. No, don't have that aspiration. Don't have that dream. Well, our Prime Minister has big dreams for New Zealand because we can achieve those big dreams. We look at countries like Singapore, like Ireland. Singapore is much more smaller than us. But similar number of population. Ireland, similar number of population. What they've managed to do, we look at New South Wales in Australia, and there is so much potential. So we need to tap into that potential with the right projects, with the right direction, and that's what I'm really proud of our Prime Minister doing. When he goes out on the world stage and he, as he says, hustles for New Zealand. Chris Hipkins, in one of the debates during the last election, actually mocked our Prime Minister when our Prime Minister said, "No, I'm going to get that free trade agreement done with India." Okay. There's a video going around now where he was mocking, the Prime Minister Christopher Luxon, saying, "Do you really think it's going to get done?" Something along those lines. And guess what? He's got it done. And that's not because he's got a magic wand. It's because, one, he believes in our potential here in New Zealand and what we can offer and the uniqueness of what we can offer. But two, because he worked on relationships.
Definitely.
You don't just put an X because a country's too big, or an X because a country's too big because we're too small. You work on relationships. And him and Minister Todd McClay and a lot of our ministers, but particularly Todd McClay and our Prime Minister, they value the importance of relationship building.
Definitely.
So this free trade agreement with India, which I was very blessed to be in that beautiful country for when that took place. We've got more agreements that have happened in the Middle East. We've just renewed or kind of refreshed an agreement with Singapore to ensure the free flowing of fuel, notwithstanding what happens overseas. This is all done by good relationships.
Thank you so much.
So I would encourage people to continue to see New Zealand for the amazing country it is. And by the way, in Australia right now, they're calling us a tax haven because things are going on over there where more and more taxes are being put on people. We're the party of less tax,
right,
more opportunity.
Tax heaven. I totally agree to that. Now, since you reminded, you just talk about our opposition. So now I'm going to ask the next question. It's up to you. You want to answer, you want to pass it on, or you want to say something about it? Up to you. Now, Labour's credibility challenge. Now, some voters believe that Labour communicate well in opposition, but did not deliver enough when in government. Now, why should undecided voters trust Labour again heading into 2026 election?
Respectfully to Labour, the people, and I want to make something very clear. My philosophy is, person to person, for the most part, most people, have good hearts. They want the best, for the most part. So nothing against them personally, but collectively, and in terms of effectiveness, well, we saw for 6 years, there was spending got out of control. And what was the results? Crime out of control. Drugs, gangs out of control. Inflation, 7.2%. Like the Reserve Bank, the safe space is around 3%. Education, we had less than half our kids attending school regularly. Does that not shred your heart apart? What a waste. Health. People, look, health is not an easy fix, and we're not going to fix it straight away. Neither are we going to fix anything else straight away. But like I said, the health minister, his absolute focus is access to primary health care. So when he started 24 hours service around the clock that someone can access a doctor online, yep, you've got to pay.
Right.
But for those that can, and those that need, and they can't wait 2-3 weeks to see a doctor, you can now get a doctor online.
Right.
For here in South and East Auckland, the minister ensured 8 months after announcing it that we were going to get one of our centres here, emergency care, to be 24 hours. That's done in Otara. It's so less pressure off the hospitals. When right now today, he's announced there's going to be within budget more funding for our amazing St. John workers and the establishment there. There's so much going on, but the focus is access to primary health care. So when we talk about RAM rates that were happening multiple times a day, every day under Labour, and we've got RAM rates down by 85%. We've got victims of violent crime down by almost 50,000. We have worked on laws around law and order, which strengthens the sentences that are to be given to people for engaging in crime, and particularly repeat offenders.
Right.
And they used to be able to get a lot of discounts. We've changed that.
Right.
We've capped the discounts at 40%. All of this is technical stuff I can explain. Just contact me if you want me to have a sit down. But we, and even just yesterday in Parliament, Labour members were complaining that, we're rushing things along. I'm sorry, but we're an efficient government that has a lot to do to fix up the mess that they kept us with.
Right.
And we're the government and we're the party that gets things done.
Thank you.
Talking, yep, is nice.
Right.
But show
Action.
me the results.
Yeah. And definitely now I'll leave that to our audience and to our viewers. They themselves can decide, and that's the reason we asked this question. And you're the best person to judge. You are comparing before and after, and you know what is going on. Let's moving on. Now let's talk about the house crisis. Now, do you believe that home ownership is becoming unrealistic for many young New Zealanders, especially in Auckland? Now, I want you to answer that the way you want to.
Some issues when we talk about the housing situation. And one of the massive issues was, and still is, but we're working on it, and with great progress, is actually getting building consents, actually getting the okay to build, but the price of goods, of the materials to build. So our ministers, particularly Minister Chris Bishop and Minister Chris Penk, have done a lot of massive work with respect to combating those issues. And for example, what we have passed, this is a small example, is allowing someone to build a granny flat on their home, 70 square meters or less, without having to get a consent. And what we've also allowed is for products to come from overseas, because there was a monopoly, for example, on jib. But now we've allowed for products to come from overseas as long as they meet the high standard that we expect. So that brings competition in the market, which means that prices, when there's competition, prices naturally, for the most part, fall. When we talk about growing our economy so that our youth have more opportunity, with more opportunity, what happens? It means that people can earn more and people can save more, so they can go towards that dream for a lot of people, which is home ownership. One thing we will not do is bring in capital gains tax. Labor have said it very clearly, very openly. I admire their honesty, that they will be bringing in capital gains tax on investment property. How many families, parents, grandparents have worked so hard all their lives to have probably one investment property to help them with their retirement, but to also help them with their children, their grandchildren, if they need some help, and Labor wants to bring in capital gains tax. That's something we won't be doing because it won't help people. And there's also there's another thing that we did early on, is look, you know what, it's going to get too technical, so I won't go into too technical, but with us, with our bigger plan to grow the economy, to get people to be able to earn more, save more, and also with the changes we've made with respect to getting houses built, it will. It's one of the ways that we're trying to make the road more accessible for home ownership.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that. Now, I want to ask one follow-up question on that. That what is one practical policy that could generally improve housing affordability? What are you saying? Within the next 5 years.
Yeah. So we've completely overhauled the Resource Management Act. This was a big project, and the previous government tried to. Minister Chris Bishop, what we've done with the Resource Management Act, and also in conjunction with the changes we've made with building and construction under Minister Chris Penk, these are real life ways. Essentially, what we're doing is where the term is cutting red tape, which means we're making it easier to not have to go through so many levels of bureaucracy to be able to build the home. And there's other types of things people want to build as well. But since we're talking about homes, to be able to build homes. And when there's more supply in the market, the more supply it is, it's a basic economics term.
Yes, supply and demand.
Supply and demand, prices naturally
should come down.
When there's more supply, because we've had a massive housing shortage.
Okay, definitely. Very good answer, Aljan. Now I wanted to shift towards an FTA. Recently you visited India. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk to our Indian community and share your thought process and your experience on that.
Going to India?
Yes.
Firstly, I want to say that ancient country of Bharat is very mind-blowing. So I was only able to be there for 2 evenings. And I was with my colleague, Dana Kirkpatrick. She is from the East Coast, but she is on the Foreign Affairs and Trade Select Committee. So in Parliament, there's different select committees, and select committees essentially, for the most part, they consider proposed laws or law changes. And so Dana was there, I was there, we had a Labour Party member there as well and an ACT Party member, and of course we had our Minister Todd Nakhle. I remember when I was landing into India, it was during the day, and I was looking out at the buildings and it just wouldn't stop. It just kept going and going and going. And I remember thinking, when our Prime Minister said to us as a National Party team about a year and a half beforehand, so I remembered the words of our Prime Minister when he spoke about the opportunity that exists for us, this tiny country with a tiny population. I mean, there's cities in India that have more people than our country.
Right.
And the opportunity that will be created and will open for us if we do get this free trade agreement. It's very interesting that it just was materialized and encapsulated for me when I looked at the vastness as we were landing. Right. And so, India is massive. New Zealand is this tiny little country at the bottom of the world. But what this free trade agreement does for our businesses, for our farmers, for our growers, for many businesses, is phenomenal. And now it's up to our businesses, as our minister said, to breathe life into it.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that. Now, I want to record this message. Right, in July, Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, is going to land in our country.
It's going to be great.
So what message you want to tell him, so we can, use this message and show it to people that how excited we all are to welcome him.
Yeah. I just want to say that we are so looking forward, God willing, if it does all play out, to having Prime Minister Modi here and to say namaste and welcome, and to showing you some of our New Zealand Kiwi hospitality, the same way it was very clearly and beautifully shown to us in India, and to see what our beautiful Indian people, our Indian community here, Indian Kiwis, how much they contribute to New Zealand and how much you all have enriched our beautiful country. So looking forward to it. Fingers crossed it all goes ahead.
Thank
and
you.
The excitement is more here, bubbling away. Otherwise the smile will just get out of the window.
Thank you. And if Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi himself is watching this video, what is the message for him? Look at the camera.
Thank you so much for trusting our Prime Minister, taking him on as a friend, and please come to New Zealand, because we would be absolutely thrilled to show you some New Zealand hospitality and to say thank you for how much you're helping New Zealand grow as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we'll do a rapid fire round quickly. One thing New Zealand must urgently fix.
Education, and that's what we're doing.
Thank you. Biggest challenge facing in Auckland.
Affordability pressures.
Thank you for being so honest. Appreciate that. One policy you strongly believe in.
Stronger sentences for criminals.
Thank you. What gives you hope about New Zealand?
The people.
Lovely.
We're a very hopeful people. Well, we should be. There's a lot to be hopeful for. But not only that, but we've got great attitudes.
Thank you so much. And one thing voters should demand more from politicians.
Look, if you want more answers, ask. And I don't know if this still needs to be rapid fire, but what I say to a lot of people even today I was speaking to someone and they mentioned about something that was in the news 2 days ago. And then I had to go through what the actual real story is.
Right.
And so unfortunately the news doesn't paint the whole picture.
Right.
And so stop us or contact us and say, look, can I have 20 minutes with you? Send out an email to our electorate officers, because it's better to get understanding than to just hear one side of the story and not hear the rest of the story.
Yeah. And I can add one thing, that Rima was very approachable when Webfit News tried to get in touch with them, their team, and they were very generous and very welcoming, and see they have arranged a lot of food and not to whatnot. So I want to thank you to your hospitality, and also being so approachable. You're so open, and you did not ask for the question in advance, and we were like very open to ask questions, and you were very honest to answer.
But just letting you know that usually we do ask for the questions in advance.
Thank you.
Sometimes it's normal. It's no look. One, the food is a reflection of our culture. As a person of Lebanese origin, you can't come in and not have something to eat. So you have to have something to eat.
We'll do that.
Otherwise,
definitely.
I'll get offended.
Yeah.
But please, just know, for the most part, my colleagues and I in the National Party, being accessible is really important. And honestly, sometimes it takes a lot of time, depending on the situation, to find that moment to sit down. But don't hesitate. Yeah, just to get some clarifications and some answers. And if you see us, come up, talk to us.
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate and thank you once again from Webfit News for talking to us.
Thank you.
Have a great night and see you again. Take care.